And our first guest is joining us.
You can take your mask off.
Okay.
You're good. So we have Terrence Rankle from Ohio, a freshman offensive lineman. Terrence, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. We're excited to have you in Pittsburgh, and we have a good group of media for you here today. And I will go ahead and open it up for questions for Terrence now.
Terrence, it was only maybe 2 months ago you were in high school. What's that like being dropped off in a college setting and in a major college football program right after you were just a high school kid?
It was definitely a new experience, but I was talking to the coaches, and my parents talking to the coaches. They felt that they were handing me off to some good people, so it was an easy transition for me, I think.
How have the meetings been for you? Is it a little more complicated than what you're used to?
You mean as far as like learning the plays and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. We it's just like I guess you could say it's like drinking water out of a fire hydrant. It's a lot of information at once, but the coaches go they go slow, and they make sure you have all the they have everything that you need to learn everything. So, but in that standpoint, it's been good.
Terrence, how different is this offense from the one you guys ran in high school, or anything you're familiar with otherwise?
At my high school, we ran a no huddle, so like we'd get the call from the sideline, run up to the line. It went really quick. This is more of a run a play. All right, go back to the huddle. But they do have checks. But to start it out, they start in a huddle, and then we clap and we go. But it's pretty much the same concepts. Mid zone, wide zone, same pass protection. Which way we're sliding. So it's from that it's been pretty. It's been a good. It hasn't been that hard to transition the knowledge.
Terrence, you committed to Pitt. I think it was back in April. And throughout the process, obviously there were some other schools that came calling. What kind of stood out about Pitt that made you want to stick it out and sign with them in December?
It was close to home. I made sure that especially with the Rona, I couldn't really take an official visit. But I'd been here plenty of times for my freshman, sophomore, junior year, and prior to the the Corona my junior year. And I just felt comfortable. I made sure they gave me a virtual tour. They got me in contact with the players. Like looking at the bridges on Forbes, like it's really nice. Where I'm at right now, it's really nice. Like apartments. That was really attractive to my eye, and it just felt really, really comfortable coming here.
Terrence, was it a tough decision to leave school early, or is this something you were looking to do for a long time to kind of get your college career started quick?
I think it was pretty easy. I made sure. I said my goodbyes to everybody. From my city and everything. But they know that this was a really good opportunity for me to get in the system early. Hit the weight room early. And with the Rona, it's not the same as any other, senior year for anybody else. Obviously, the past 2 years before, like you'd have prom and stuff, walk-in graduation. But I think with the Rona, it's really made it difficult for, seniors in general. So I was just like, I'm not missing, nothing crazy, nothing that I was already, doing. So it wasn't too bad.
Terrence, we haven't seen a lot of linemen enroll early. Now there's 3 of you here. What do you feel like specifically maybe for a lineman are the advantages of enrolling early and getting the extra time?
I think the lineman position is very developmental. So I think, gaining weight, if you got to gain weight or cutting weight is a really big thing. Whereas like, a skill position, maybe a wide receiver, they might already came in as the weight they wanted to be at, and they're just, focus on twitch, getting speed, running routes. Whereas lineman, it's like, you say you come in at 340, you want to drop to 310, you got to, all right, cut those 30 pounds, get used to that 310. Or say you come in, at 280, you want to get up to 310, you got to gain that weight, get used to that weight. So it's very, I feel like it's very detrimental, like, especially to my position, get in, get accustomed to, just putting on weight, learning the plays, stuff like that.
Terrence, what did you come in at, and is there a goal you want to have by the time spring comes around?
I came in at about 295, and right now when I weighed in there, I was about 309, and I'm gonna try and probably get to like 320 because I feel really skinny. Just as at the weight, I still feel like I'm like 270, but when I'm hitting the weight room, it turns into muscle. Because muscle weighs more than fat, so I'm just gonna keep hitting the weight room, probably get up to 320, but if I sit at 310, 315, that's fine with me as well.
You're starting at tackle, right? Starting your career here at tackle.
I'm learning everything. I'm learning everything at the moment. It's a unique year just because with the Rona, everybody gets that year of that extra year of eligibility. So there's 6-year guys here, 5th-year guys here, and obviously with last season, I don't know how much the schedule was for shortened down for Pitt. I think it was the same, but like so other teams, you know, uh, they might have had their season shortened. So, what you call it? There's guys back that might have not been back. So it's like, I'm just, everybody's taking me under their wing, and I'm just learning every position from guard to tackle, from center to tackle.
So you've gained in the short time you've been here, you've gained 14 pounds. Is that just from weightlifting or what?
I've been fluctuating. Like I was like when I left Masson, I was like 300. Then I got here, I was like 295. I think that was just like maybe when I weighed myself at the morning or night. I'm not really sure what's happening, but no, I definitely did. I've been eating about like 6, 7 peanut butter and jellies on top of like the really good dining we have here. Miss Nate and Miss Jules, they do a really good job. They basically serve the food, and then we have our dietitians, Auburn, Emma. They're really good at making sure we get the right stuff that we need, and I've been taking advantage of it as much as I can.
Terrence, who are some of the older guys on the offensive line who, as far as what you've been able to observe, who are stepping up as leaders of the unit?
Oh, you here? Yeah,
Yeah.
whatchamacallit, we actually voted for like Eagles, but that's basically like, I think that's something they said that was new here. It's basically like, I guess it's like the captains or like, I don't really know, it's like the leaders of the position group. And, everybody's held at the same standard, but they're held at like a different expectation in the standard. And like, make sure everybody, get on the young guys, make sure everybody's doing their jobs, make sure attendance is good, whatnot. It was, for our group, we selected Carter Warren and Jake Cradle for offensive line. Yeah.
Any final questions for Terrence? All good. Mr. Rankle, great job with your debut interview. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
the time. Best of luck this spring, and we look forward to talking with you again soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank
Have a good
you.
rest of your day.
You as well.
Excellent, man.
Yep.
You're natural.
I know. So like that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
I really appreciate you representing tremendous.
And obviously, for those of you that don't know, the Rona is what the younger folks these days call COVID-19.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't give me any too hard questions or anything.
We're now joined by our second guest.
You can take it off and put it right here. And then I'm gonna step out. Thank you.
Our second guest, Terrence Rankle, or Terrence Enos, joining us now. Sorry, we just Terrence Rankle in. Mr. Enos, thank you for joining us.
No problem, no problem.
We'll go ahead and open up for questions.
All right, Terrence, a tough one first. How do you and Rankle keep each other apart? You guys have a good nickname. How have you figured that out yet?
Yeah, that's been a little tricky. Everybody usually called us Terrence at first, but I'm a junior, so I usually get called TJ, and they just call Terrence, and they call me TJ.
Terrence, what has it been like learning the offense so far, and how different or how similar are some of the concepts to what you're familiar with from high school?
I would say it's more or less familiar. Obviously, I just got to get used to it. Just walking through it, I feel like I'll pick up on everything more. But so far, it's been a smooth transition.
What about college football has surprised you in the first couple months you've been exposed to it?
I would say the pace is a lot faster than high school. That's one thing I got to get used to. Just even like off the field with like just being on time everywhere. I would say the pace. I just got to keep up with that.
How's the transition been from, just a couple months ago, they're still recruiting you. They're telling you all these things. You got to come to Pitt. You got to do this. To all of a sudden now they're your coaches. How's that transition been like?
Um, I would say it's been smooth. I just know that obviously it would change. Obviously they're gonna get harder on me now because I'm here. So it's not the recruiting stage anymore. They're not trying to get me here. I'm already here. So obviously I knew it was gonna get harder for me. So like I said, just getting used to everything. I feel like I'll be fine.
Terrence, what really attracted you to Pitt when you were making your decision to come from Michigan?
Um, I would say my ties with Coach Archie because he's a Detroit guy. He actually went to Cass Tech too. So just my ties with him, getting cool with Coach Borbley, and I have family here too. So just down in Monroeville, so it just made it a perfect fit for me to where I can have family around if I need anything or just things like that. And then the education too. I feel like Pitt was one of the better schools on the education side too. So.
Terrence, from what you've been able to observe, who are some of the older guys, the leaders that are stepping up on the offensive line?
Carter, Owen, Cradle, Marcus just came in, but he's stepping up good. Matt, it's a lot of guys. I feel like we're all getting to know each other good. They welcome me in exceptionally. I have no problems. Everybody's been great. So I'm just looking forward to get better with these guys.
Where are you most comfortable on the line? Which position?
In high school, I played tackle, but for right now, I'm starting off at left guard. But I feel comfortable playing on either side of the ball, tackle or guard. So just getting in where I can fit in.
What's the mindset have to be like knowing that there's a lot of guys that got that extra year that might be back, and there's going to be less opportunities for this class than maybe a typical freshman would have coming in.
We just got to work harder. That's really about it. We just got to put our best foot forward in any situation and just go to work.
Terrence, we asked other Terrence about this too, just coming in, going through winter workouts and everything. Was there a weight you came in with and a goal you want to get to by the time, spring camp rolls around?
I'm around 325 right now. I want to cut down to about, I would say probably like 315-ish. And then just keep working with whatever they want me to get at, obviously turning everything into muscle. So just whatever weight they want me at, but I feel like 315, around 310, 315 will be optimal weight for me.
How have you been going about that from a, workout and nutrition perspective?
I would say just cutting back on foods more. That's really about it. Just smaller portion sizes, everything. So
What's Coach Stacchiotti been like to work with? Just we don't get to see what you guys are out there doing on the field. I know it's some early mornings with him. Just kind of take us through what training with him has been like.
Coach Stack, he's a fun guy, man. He brings energy every day. He makes me want to get better. He wants everybody around us to get better. So just having him as our strength coach and all the other strength coaches too is it's a perfect fit for me for me. So
Anything new or you haven't done before from a training or fitness perspective that kind of opened your eyes?
Um, Not really. It's just getting adjusted to college level weight room. So just getting used to that part. But just running wise, I've been fine running wise. But just trying to get stronger in the weight room. That's really about it.
Who among the older guys has kind of taken you under his wing?
Um, I would say Cradle and Carter. They've taken me in, but Branson, he's a younger guy, but just working along him on the line, because I've been next to him at left guard. So just getting reps with him, he's been walking me through it too. So those are about the three guys I would say and on to that have really helped me out.
Terrence, you mentioned your relationship with Coach Collins, and you're one of the first guys from Detroit to come to Pitt in a few years. I mean, are there younger guys? I mean, not mentioning names, but do you kind of get a feel that there's a sense of Pitt's building a little brand up in Michigan?
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a wave of Michigan guys coming up here. We actually got a tackle from Livonia, Kyle, so he'll be up here in the summertime. So I feel like it's a wave, and especially from Cass, I feel like we could get some more kids. I'm gonna talk to more kids about Pittsburgh and tell them what we had to offer, and hopefully we can get them.
Any final questions for Mr. Enos? All good. Well, TJ, from an RJ and on behalf of EJ, thank you very much for your time. Welcome to Pittsburgh. We're excited to have you, and good luck in spring practice.
All right, thank you all.
RJ's got jokes.
Seems like we just add more and more initialed folks every year.
I'm gonna add a J into my name just for the heck of it.
Keeping AJ Davis around, and we got AJ Woods. Now we got a TJ.
AJ Roberts.
AJ Roberts, there you go. What else am I missing? We gotta get a CJ. Start calling Chris LaSalle CJ just for the heck of it.
Got an MJ, Devonshire.
There you go. There, yeah. We're loading up. Recruiting tactic. So we'll have one more guest here momentarily. Should be Trey Andersen, offensive lineman from Utah. And as a reminder, if you didn't hear earlier, we'll send out the video shortly afterwards from this session, and they'll be posted on YouTube and Panther-Lair.com. And I hope you guys are finding these sessions productive and as helpful as we are. Alan, your drapes got a shout out in the chat.
Sure, you're decorating. Yeah, EJ, I don't have anything to do with the drapes. It's not my department. I hung them. I'll tell if they. That's about all the input I had.
you. Okay. Thank you, buddy.
We're all set for our third and final offensive lineman guest of the day, Trey Andersen from Utah, joining us now. Trey, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. We're excited we're excited that you're here in Pittsburgh, and we got a good group of media for you today. So we'll go ahead and open up for questions for Mr. Andersen.
Trey, I'm interested in your recruitment. I don't think Pitt gets a lot of guys from Utah. And the last time they played Utah, Alex Smith was the quarterback. Tell us about how you made your connection, between you and the Panthers.
Yeah, that's a long story, but I'll try to summarize it fairly quick. So, my dad he was interested in coaching in the NFL, and so he went to the National Coaches Convention in Nashville, Tennessee, and he was talking to one of his former teammates, Joe Germain, and then that's where Tim Salem came in to the picture, because I'm pretty sure that Tim Salem was or Coach Salem, he was Joe Germain's quarterbacks coach or something like that. And so they made that quick connection, and I happened to call my dad, like FaceTime at that time. I don't know what the call was about, but then that's where me and Coach Salem connected, and then they started actively recruiting me from that. And he would follow up like once a week, and I would send him like routes and different clips of me like running, and so that they could get a better feel for what type of player I was.
Is your dad coaching somewhere now?
No, so that got put on hold when the COVID pandemic started.
Trey, you were committed to BYU in 2019, and now you're signing with Pitt in 2021. So kind of talk us through these past 2 years. What have you been up to, and what have you been doing?
Yeah, so I was able to serve a mission for my church, and we could get called all over the world, and I got called to Fresno, California. And basically what we do there is to serve the community, talk to people about God, and kind of just bring light into the world, just help people on that path. So that's what I was doing for the last year and a half.
How were you able to stay in shape football-wise?
So they gave us an hour a day to work out, and so during that time, I brought cones and a ladder and a jump rope and football and gloves and all the whole deal, and I was able to run routes, do footwork, speed drills. As far as the weights, we weren't able to access that right after I started my mission. That's when the pandemic started, so we weren't able to go to the gyms because they were closed.
Do you have any interesting connections or any interesting stories from your mission? Maybe something you weren't expecting? Maybe some kid you might have helped?
Yeah, so there is a lot of people that we met on my mission. A lot of really, really great people. I guess an interesting one is that some people would there's this guy, his name was Miles, and we went up into the mountains because I served in Yosemite National Park. I served in that area, you know where that's at. And he stopped us. He stopped our car, and we pulled off to the side, and he said that he's like, I need help. And we're like, well, what do you need help with? We thought it was something like physical that we could help with, but he's like, I'm trying to find God. And that was just a really cool experience that I had personally, to be able to teach him more about how to come closer to God, and different aspects of that. So that was a pretty cool experience that we had.
Did you sit down with him in several different sessions, or how often did you connect with this guy?
Yeah, we connected with him multiple times a week, and we would hold teaching appointments, is what we'd call them, and we were able to teach him more about our faith and kind of help him come closer to God.
Trey, how does your faith influence or help football?
I think it helps in every aspect. Honestly, I believe that if God didn't help me get to Pitt, then it would have never happened. I don't think it's a coincidence that my dad ran into Coach Salem at a coaches convention in Nashville when we live in Utah, and I called at the same time. I truly believe that God needed me here for a purpose, and so I believe it plays into everything that I do in this life.
Trey, Salem is one of God's more energetic creations. What's it like? What's it like being recruited by him?
I had a great time being recruited by him. He would always send me like these graphics, these pictures of Pitt, tell me all these like cool facts so that I can kind of get a visual before I came to Pitt. Because I mean, obviously, I've never been on the East Coast because I've been on Utah. I mean, I have lived here before, but that was like when I was younger and I didn't remember. But he gave me more of like a visual to what I would expect to come here, so it was a lot more comfortable transition coming here and going to school and playing football for him.
Trey, how did you make the transition from tight end to offensive line, or I guess making that transition kind of as we go along here in the winter and in the spring?
Yeah, so they kind of right now the coaching staff they have me learning both positions, tight end and O-line. And so they haven't made an official statement of like what I am. I believe that we're going to go through spring ball and kind of identify like where I fit best. Obviously the weight factor, I need to start gaining weight if I'm going to be playing offensive tackle. So they want to put that on me organically and naturally rather than just shoving all that bad weight on me. So I feel like after we get a feel after spring ball in the fall, then they'll be able to see where I best fit.
Where are you at right now?
So I'm at 247 last time I weighed in. And I kind of fluctuate between those times, but I recently got off of quarantine from testing positive for COVID, so I lost a little bit of weight during that.
During you mentioned with gyms closing out, and when you were out in your mission, and what you brought with you in terms of the rope and football and gloves and all that kind of stuff. I mean, when the gyms closed, what were you able to do if anything?
So we had dumbbells in our apartments and stuff. We had a 50-pound dumbbell and a 35-pound dumbbell, and I was able to do. I got very comfortable with with all the dumbbell workouts. So that's really all we had.
Trey, how are you gaining weight? Do you have to do the get up and eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? How do you try to go about gaining some weight?
Yeah, just kind of instead of just taking like one meal home, I like take 2 meals home, and I eat twice as much like before weights and after weights. So I'm trying to always keep my mouth busy. If it's not talking, then I'm eating.
Where do I sign up for something like that, Trey?
Yeah, seriously, I know. They take good care of us here, though. They make sure we're fed.
Trey, who in the offensive line room specifically has kind of helped you the most over the last month or so, kind of transition into that room?
I wouldn't say like one specific guy. They all just kind of like help me out with various different things. Obviously, it's a new position for me to be learning and to do, and so I feel like it's going to be a little bit of me studying on my own, asking them questions. But really, whoever's there, I ask them a question because they're pretty familiar with all the positions, so they help me out.
On the line, are you, in terms of positions you're studying, are you studying tackle, and have you ever played that before?
No, not at all.
So what's the most difficult part about that? Is it just learning the mechanics of it? Or are you watching like a lot of film, and if so, of who?
It's probably more mechanics and stuff because I mean I was more of a blocking tight end in high school, and so I understand like the run game and all the gaps and the schemes and stuff. It's learning the combination, like the combination blocks, specific plays, and like the concepts that we have. I feel like that's the most like transition from that.
Trey, did you grow up a son of a coach?
What?
Did you grow up as a son of a coach?
Yeah. My dad, he coached in college when I was young, and then he started coaching high school when we got to that age, when we were playing in high school.
Trey, a big part of the transition for a lot of guys coming into college is kind of living on their own for the first time. You've obviously done a lot of that. Do you find yourself being kind of a leader of this group of youngsters that's coming in here when it comes to maybe not football, but like doing laundry and some of the other things that guys learn about the first time they leave home?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that they learned how to do laundry and do the dishes before they left home, but I feel like I'm a little more comfortable of living on my own and being away from family. Like Nate, he's from Texas, so he's a little bit further away from his family. So I feel like, I mean, if he ever had any questions, that he would be able to come to me for it. So.
Trey, does your dad, having played the offensive line before, I know he was a center, but just understanding what goes into a successful offensive line, does that help you in that transition if you're gonna play tackle or just learning the position right now?
Yeah, my dad, he tried to have a big influence on me on offensive linemen like my whole entire life, because my two brothers, they're offensive linemen too. I just kind of I grew up more than out, and so he always made sure that I was good at blocking, so that he takes care of his offensive line skills and applies it to me.
Any final questions for Trey? All good? All right. Well, Trey, thank you very much for your time. Outstanding job. Good luck in spring practice coming up, and we look forward to when we can chat again.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Good luck to you, Trey. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that'll wrap us up for today. 3 great interviews, and like I said, we'll send out the video link shortly. And thank you all for being here. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and hopefully it's another false alarm for the snow that's projected for later this week. So, is anyone covering the basketball game in a few hours? Yeah, figured. Well, have a good rest of your day, everybody.
All right.
Thanks,
See you,
RJ.
RJ.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, I won't keep you long.
That's okay.
Can you, as you're listening to Colbert, like just type a couple of things down that he says, like in a Word document, and then as soon as it's done, just like paste it and throw it on Twitter?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that.
And then that way the fan account can retweet it.
Okay.
They
It's
just-
hard to quote him exactly.
No, but I think if
Just
people
do it.
get
I'll set something up.
right, I think if people get the premise, and then if you want to throw that in, I just did a story on Keller. I haven't posted it yet because I don't want to just Colbert's going to be, I think, the big thing on the website today, so I might post Keller later. I don't know. Do you want to write something on Brault?
Yeah, something. There's probably about 5 different
right.
angles you can take with him.
You're going to ask about my loaded question.
Yeah, no, there's a